Welcome back, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Glad you made it. It's not a social production. We're doing it once again on March 26, 2025, wherever you're tuning in from, whether it's Canada, down south in the US, further down south, Mexico, South America, over there in Europe, Asia, Africa, Antarctica, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, Australia, the islands, man. Over there in Jamaica, over there in the south of France, over there in Bangladesh, over there in all the stands, underwater, overwater, hovering, all doing it, boogie boarding, surfing, skiing on. You're in the Alps. You're in the Swiss Alps. My Italians, my Spanish people, my Latinos, my chicos, my chicas. Viva la raza. They're doing it all around the world, wherever you're tuning in from. If it's your first time, buckle up, buckle down. Where can you find these videos? On Instagram. Follow me there. Subscribe on the YouTube channel so you get the full-length videos, and check out patreon.com/robsadri if you'd like to physically, financially support this show. That's once again, patreon.com/robsadri if you'd like to physically, financially support the show. If you'd like to enjoy the show in full-length videos, that's where you subscribe on the YouTube channel so you get the reminders, the weekly reminders, and all that jazz. It's Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. At the end of the month, we are towards the end of the month. Lots of exciting events are happening in and around the world. Let me just get a sip of this coffee right here. Let's moisten up. Let's get these vocal cords all moist and ready. Oh, it's good to be alive. It's good to be alive and kicking once again. Another day. Let's just get right into it. Let us just get right into it, shall we? A lot of people are asking questions, of course, these days. You know, how far down do I put my tongue in her puss? How far down do I put my tongue in her puss? That is on everybody's minds these days. You hear it on the streets, you hear it on the interwebs, you hear people whispering, chit-chatting by the water cooler, in the heating room, in the water heating room, in the HVAC unit area, in the kitchen of the office, in the office, at home, in your cars. Getting on an airplane. Oh, sweetheart, I can't hear you. I'm getting on an airplane. I gotta go and turn this cell phone off. Or for some odd reason, still in 2025, I might fuck up the plane and we might crash. I can't hear you. What's that? How far should I be? You're asking me how far I should be sticking my tongue down your puss. That's a great question, love. I'll get right back to you. I can't hear you. We're in a tunnel. This airplane's going in a tunnel. It's crazy, sweetheart. Hangs up the phone. Doesn't get back. The questions remain unanswered until today. That is. Ladies and gentlemen, let's just get right into it, shall we? How far down the puss do you put your tongue? That is an excellent question. Where do you even begin to tackle such a question? How will we unpack the many layers that is to this question? Well, we'll do one layer at a time, shall we? We will do it one layer at a time. I'll tell you what, a lot of people don't even know how to start. And I just want to say, there's no one, before we get right into it, there are many ways to do this. There's no right or wrong. There are better ways, of course, but I'm going to just lay out a few basics for the fam. So you're like, okay, how far do I put my tongue in her? How do I even start? Where do I even begin? First of all, let us ask the basics. Do you have a tongue? Most people will say yes, unless you were, unless your tongue was removed in some sort of horrific work accident, or some sort of maybe you had some debts to the, you owed the mob, or maybe you were involved in some secret activities and then you got away and you told the secrets, and next, tongues were removed perhaps, or nonetheless, most people do have tongues, which is nice. So that's the first, and before we get that out of the way, if you got a tongue, there's no way you should be worried about, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I'm going to be successful at it. You'll be successful once I'm done with you. All right. First of all, I'll say this. A lot of people make the mistake of trying to penetrate the vag, the puss, when the ladies have their pants on. That's a traditional, that's a traditional mistake. That's a classic mistake. That's a person who's just new to the game. Removing the pants is key. Removing whatever outfit they are wearing, because you could start penetrating with your tongue on the pants, but mind you, they've got pants on and they've got probably some sort of undergarment on as well, which is 2 layers of clothing that is stopping, blocking your tongue, making contact with the actual puss. A lot of people do make that mistake, and halfway through, 45 minutes in, they're like, I'm not making any progress in this. And they give up, they pack up their bags and they leave. All right, wrong. That is not for you to say, this is it, I'm giving up, there's no way I'm gonna get, no. All you gotta do is 1, remove the pants. 2, remove the underwear. There you go, nice, we're on the same page now. Okay, so now you can make contact. Now, how do you start putting the tongue in the puss? Because that's an excellent question that's on everybody's mind. Do you just go knee deep? Do you just go knee deep in, face first in the puss? Do you just, insert? No, you could do that. You could do that if you want the fun to be over in what, like 10 seconds? I don't think you want the fun to be over in 10 seconds, do you? I would recommend you start just with just the tip of your tongue. Just kind of stab in and around the puss, the labia area, the labia majora, but do not forget to make contact with the labia minora as well. So majora, minora, make contact with all of it. Now, different vaginas have different, outlooks, different, ways that they'll interact with you. Some have innies, which we're talking about the clitori, clitoris. It's just us, clitoris, clitori. There's no me and clitor. There's I and clitori. But that's, before we get into it, you must find out what kind of clitoris you're dealing with. Does it have a hood? Is it hidden? Or is it one of those, outies? It's just like kind of like peeking, oh, what's this? What's that over there? Is it one of those ones that, the ones that are out there peeking to see what's out there in the world, just on a hike? Is it one of those clitorises in the morning that, wakes up, grabs a cup of coffee, grabs its cigarettes, goes on top of a hill, looks for rainbows, butterflies, and birds, and enjoys nature while taking a drag? You gotta question it. Because everybody's different. But nonetheless, once you've found the clitora, go stab that clitora with your tongue, right there. Make those noises too. These noises will go a long way. Now, start licking up and down the puss, up and down, for I would say about 5 to 7 minutes. 5 to 7 minutes, just going up and down. After 5 to 7, you can go left to right, or right to left, doesn't matter. You want to make sure you're covering all the space. 5 to 7 up and down, 5 to 7 left to right. Then you're like, oh, now do I go in? No, diagonal, 5 to 7 diagonal. There you go. So do that for about half an hour. Next thing you know, puss should be wet. It should be moist. If it's not, spit on it. If it's still not wet after 45 minutes, continue with the same technique, going up and down, left, right, circles, throw in circles, gyrate your upper body a little bit if you can. You want to try to send vibrations throughout your entire body without actually moving. And that's what you should do. After about the hour mark, you want to go ahead and insert your tongue in the puss. All right, just maybe about, 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 an inch. Do that for about another 30 minutes. There you go. Now you've opened up the gateway. Fantastic. We're making progress. Now you can go ahead and insert your tongue inside the puss, all the way inside. Have a peek around inside. You're like, how far down do I go? The question is not how far down do you go, it's how far down do you not go. That's the question you should be asking. Insert your tongue all the way in there. Search around. Look for loose items. Lost a wallet, lost a keychain, loose change. Look for items that might be displaced in and around the household. You'll be surprised as to what you're gonna find. But you wanna go ahead and reach in there for so now you're about the 1.5 to 2 hour mark. So now you wanna be putting your entire tongue inside the puss, all the way inside. Your mouth should be making contact. Your lips should be like a vacuum seal around the puss right now. You shouldn't be able to breathe out your mouth. That's the proper technique. Unless you've got some sort of breathing issues, if you've got, sinuses that you're dealing with, they're congested, if you've got like a blocked up nose due to whatever reason, whether you're in the MMAs, whether you walked into a wall one time when you were a kid, not knowing where you were going, just because you were excited to say, "Hey, Dad, look at me," and then you walked into a wall. That could lead to cartilage buildup in your nose. But that's your issue. That's not my concern. Get it fixed. Outside of that, you should just be breathing with your nose, tongue fully inserted in the vag. Wiggle around in there. Try to reach for her G-spot, if you will. It's a spongy, feely sort of thing. Nobody really knows what it looks like. They say it exists out there. We take it at face value. We don't question it, much like the Loch Ness Monster, much like Bigfoot, much like, it's very much on the same page as, did we land on the moon? Did we not land on the moon? For the most part, we like to say that, yes, we did, but low-key, we kind of have a gut feeling that this whole thing is a Ponzi scheme. But nonetheless, you search for it anyway. You stab around whatever spongy thing you find in there for about 25, 30 minutes. You're working your way up to the 2-hour, 2.5, 3-hour mark by now. You're like, is this far enough? Have I gone far enough? And I'm just here to tell you, you're just getting started. You're just getting started. You really want to just kind of like buckle down if you can. Firmly place yourself somewhere and give yourself plenty of time. I should have probably said this before. Make sure you're hydrated. Make sure, because you're going to be in there for some time. Make sure you are hydrated. Stick your tongue further down inside her body. Now you want to be going up and reaching around the belly button from the inside. Feel around for her intestines, feel around for a kidney, anything in there. Does she have kidney stones? What's going on, by the way? You are extremely close to her asshole. This should be the time where you're searching for 1, kidney stones, 2, your chin, because you've been so tuned in and locked into your chin should be making contact with her asshole. Ask yourself, does she have hemorrhoids? Does she? This is not the time to ask those questions. That was a little bit of a test. Stay focused, because hemorrhoids is just another day, another topic. Today, we're asking the dear viewers and listeners, participants out there, the family really, how far do you stick your tongue down a puss? Like I said, you want to be feeling out for intestines. Go ahead and wrap your tongue around her heart. By now, your tongue should be all the way around her heart. Go ahead and give it a squeeze. Give it a nice little squeeze. Make sure there's, nice blood flow in there. Good, excellent. Now, do you finish and pull out right then? You spend maybe 3-4 hours inside her with your tongue, felt around her kidneys, her lungs, her heart's doing good, fantastic. Is this when you're like, oh, am I finished? Is this it? No, my dear friends, no, fellow gang members, no, we're not done yet. We are not done. The goal of this exercise is for you to stick your tongue all the way inside her, and eventually, by the time you're near done, you should be able to put your tongue out of her mouth. So to make it appear as though she's got 2 tongues, that's what you want to be doing. The final hurrah, the final bow out, the final move should be a double helix. Once you wrap your tongue around her tongue, form a double helix, and that should be the dead giveaway that you've done a good job and you have actually put enough tongue inside her puss. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. If you're wondering how far down the puss do I put the tongue, I think we've covered all the bases here today. Again, there's no right or wrong answer. There's no way to do it that's 100% correct. Everybody's got to find their way. A lot of times people find it hard to penetrate the puss with the tongue. I recommend you kind of, back up, give yourself plenty of space, because the initial jump to the game is actually quite hard. You want to give yourself plenty of space. Back up a little bit, if you will. Run into it. That's what I recommend. Run it, lunge yourself into it, face first, tongue out. Find a large elastic band, tie it to a tree and like a pole. If you have a tree and a pole available, fantastic. Pull back, pull all the way back, lean back against the stretchy band, the elastic band, if you will. Go all the way, but take maybe 10, 15, 20, 30 steps backwards. Lunge yourself head first into the puss, tongue out, and that way you'll get a good start and be able to penetrate the puss properly. But these are, again, just a few methods that I've throughout the years been able to implement. It's worked. We've tried it out on different test groups all around the world, on all the different continents, with different people, and it generally works. If it's not working, it probably is a you problem. It's probably you. I'm not going to lie to you. If it's not work, because again, we've tested this out. There have been no complaints. 100% of population has access. It's one of those things in life. Not too many things in life get 100% satisfaction guaranteed. But in this case, these methods have seemed to be working really well. So go ahead and try it out for yourself. If you have any difficulties, do not try to contact us. We will not answer. Our headquarters have been moved. Nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome. Giving back to the community, if you will. One little teeny tiny step at a time, of course. Let's get a sip of this bad boy right here. And lots to discuss today, but again, just trying to be of service. I've been thinking about this and I'm just looking around. I'm like, how do we utilize people of all different shapes, sizes, abilities, and utilize them to the best of their abilities and make sure that they're getting the best output out of their life and contributing to society simultaneously and making an impact. And I had to dig deep a little bit for this one, and I said, you know what, is there a group of people that's a little bit, is there a group of people that could use a little bit extra help? There's plenty of groups of people that could use a little bit of extra help. But I felt like, you know what, I'm gonna start with something that might seem small, but is actually quite large. Midget assassins. That's right, midget assassins, ladies and gentlemen. A long time I've been thinking about it. I'm like, who would make the best assassins in the world? And I did a lot of thinking. I did a lot of mathematical equations on the blackboard. Didn't have a blackboard to begin with, but once I started to put down the mathematical equations, I noticed myself being somewhat near a blackboard. How did I end up there, you're asking? It doesn't matter how I ended up there. It doesn't matter. Blackboard appeared as soon as mathematical equations started to go up. It's all relative, really, square root of pi. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, I asked myself, I'm like, who would make the best assassins? What do we look for in assassins anyway? We're looking for stealth. We're looking for speed. We're looking for discrete abilities to move around undetected to the naked eye. And that's when I looked around, I'm like, who do we not see? Who do we not see a lot of times? And it just clicked and it just came to my mind. I'm like, midgets. We don't see a lot of midgets that are being assassins out there. And perhaps that's the way we should keep it. A lot of times, midgets, because of their vertical challenges, if you will, go unnoticed. Give you an example. Right now you're looking at me and you're seeing my torso and my head and my arms and hands. You actually don't know what is going on below the waist. For all you know, there could be plenty of midgets running around right now, but because of the height disadvantage, which at one point may seem like a disadvantage, later on will actually prove to be very fruitful in the art of assassinations and ninja shit. So I thought to myself, you know what, why don't we allocate a little bit of resources to midgets and train them and create ninjas, little midget ninjas, assassins who go undetected, who will go to fly under the radar, who will just be, and people love midgets. People love midgets. Nobody will think a midget is an assassin. Nobody, because we look at them, and not me particularly, but we collectively sometimes might look at them because of the height, vertical, again, deficiency a little bit there. We might just be like, oh, that's just a happy-go-lucky midget who likes to play around with, just to chase around rainbows and butterflies, might be even a leprechaun, who knows. Maybe if I'm so lucky, I'll chase this little midget around, find me a pot of gold. You'll say that. I won't, but you'll say, some of you might say that. Some of you have said that. I've never said that. I would never say, why would a midget chase butterflies and rainbows and have pots of gold? I would never say that, but some of you might say that. Some of you might say that. And you know what? I'm glad that you do say that. It's fine, because some of them might. You don't know. You don't know all midgets. For all you know, some of them might be chasing butterflies, rainbows, and have ample access to pots of gold. I'm not here to judge. Whatever you do you, boo-boo. You do you. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just trying to let you know that this population, this sector of population has just been going underutilized, underappreciated. I'm just saying, if you train these guys and gals, they can be of immense use to the public. Oh, you got a little beef with your neighbor? Guess what? Hiring a regular size assassin ninja might be a little bit too sus, might be a little bit too on the nose, might be a little bit in your face, in your space and all that jazz. But guess what? A little midget assassin ninja, no one's the wiser. Knock knock. They'll open the door because they'll have a look through the old peephole and they won't see anything. So they're not gonna open the door. Guess what? Knock knock once again. Another look through the peephole. Once again, there's nothing there. They go back in the kitchen. Knock knock. Oh, I'm furious. Who's at the door? Finally, they go and open the door. Guess what? Ninja assassins. Right there. Nuts. Grabbed, squeezed, turned, pulled, yanked off, tossed in the garbage can. Little midget ninja assassin runs off into the sunset. No one's the wiser. It never got captured on CCTV because CCTV can't capture midget ninjas. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm just letting you know, this is a portion of the population that can be used both in the public and private sector. We just need to focus our energies, train them right, okay? Dogs can't smell them. Dogs can't smell them. I'm telling you right now, dogs cannot smell midgets. It's fascinating. I don't know the science about it. I'm not going to ask questions, to be frank, but it's just the way it goes. It's just the lay of the land, if you will. It's just the way God made it to be, or nature made it to be. That's just the way it goes. So go ahead and utilize a midget ninja assassin should you be looking for assassins, because a lot of times they go overlooked. A lot of times people are like, oh, I'll get the tall, handsome fellow who's buff and jacked or whatever. I'll get or the nonchalant guy that, you know, looks disarming but has all the tools in the tool belt of an assassin, or maybe a hot chick with a pair of tits. Hot chick, pair of tits assassin. I'll pick the hot chick with a pair of tits. Oh, because she could be disarming too. She'll flirt her way into any situation, male, female. You put anyone in front of them, they'll do that because females have that ability. But there you go. Now you have somebody else to look to. Somebody who's not been really considered. Somebody who needs to be considered a little bit more. You son of a bitch. You ableist son of a bitch. Ninja assassins, midget ninja assassins. There could be one right behind you or right underneath you. Right underneath your skirt. Right underneath your kilt. Right underneath the desk. Right underneath they could be anywhere. They could be anywhere. So you're welcome. Use them accordingly. Do not abuse it, of course. And let's see where it takes us. Let's see how this unfolds in the next 5, 10, 20 years. School of ninja assassins, but for midgets. Little hands, little fists, a pack a punch. Just getting kicked by a midget, just, you know, they won't be able to kick you as hard, but they'll probably kick you twice as fast. With you know, it's a numbers game with midget assassins. Midget assassins, it's a numbers game. Ladies and gents, we're all thinking it. Why does half the female population not stuff snacks in their pussies? Why is that? Why do half the female population walk around and not stuff their pussies with snacks for themselves and for other people? That is the number one question on everybody's minds these days. And I'm just here to say, you know what, ladies? There are half of you who are packing their puss with ample snacks to feed up to 3 to 5 people at least. And then there's the other half. There's the other half of the population, females, ladies, who are walking around with empty vaginas, empty pusses. You've been given a gift. You've been granted with a pocket, with a little, you know, with a little. You got a bag. You got a bag essentially is what you know. Females, they say females are like bags. They say females are like cars and bags. They say that. The bag thing I could definitely, the car thing I could see too, actually. The bag, because it's obvious, you know, you got pockets. Females are like bags. I've heard it a million times ever since the dawn of man. Oh, a female's like a bag. I can't tell the difference between a female and a bag. They've said that. Oh, a female's like a race car. She's like it's like a racing bag. They'll say that. But nonetheless, ladies, why is it that half of you put little snacks in their and the other half just goes about their day without stuffing their pussies with snacks? Let me ask you this. Have you ever been on the go and you were like, oh, I wish I had a little bit of carbs or a little bit of the sugars, a little bit of a snack that I can, I'm on the run right now. I got to catch the bus. I got to jump on the subway. I got a meeting downtown. Then I got to head east do another meeting, Zoom meeting for an hour, and then go back to the west side of town and do another meeting there too. And all day around, you're running around on just, whatever breakfast you had, but guess what? Your blood sugar levels might be plummeting by now. It's almost noon and you forgot to pack lunch. Guess what? If you had stuffed a few snacks up your vag, you might have been able to actually reach in there like the other half of the female population, pull out a Mars bar, pull out a little Snickers bar, pull out a little Twix or a Kit Kat, put some peanuts in there, snack away, just reach into your vag and snack away. Far too many times I've seen ladies just walk in or run. You might be on a jog. You might be on a jog, ladies. I've seen you jogging out there. I see you jogging out there. Can't help but see you out there, jogging, tits bouncing up and down, labias packed tight sometimes. Sometimes it's packed loose, sometimes it's not even packed, sometimes loose labias, I've seen it. Sometimes camel toe city all day, every day. I'm a fan, more of it, please. Sometimes they'll be running, sometimes they'll be wearing really, tight spandex. Sometimes they're wearing the tight spandex. Underneath the tight spandex, they got their pads, and sometimes the pads are bulgy. I think those are the wider wingspan pads for the heavy flow ladies. But nonetheless, ladies, half the population is seeming to miss out on the opportunity to be able to nourish themselves and other people. How many times has a fellow or another female partner or lover has gone down on you to insert his or her tongue down your throat, essentially, starting with your puss, of course, and halfway through they've come out and said, "Oh, I'm losing a little bit of consciousness. Didn't know this is gonna take this long. I wish there was a little bit of a snack. I wish there was a couple of blueberries, or you happen to have a strawberry onion." A lot of ladies will just lay back there, not a snack on them. Why? So please, if you are one of the females that actually stuffs snacks in her pussy, spread the word. Teach other women that they too can actually stuff snacks in their vaginas. Do not worry about what about my pH levels, what about infections. Those are minor little details that come up in life. You are always going to have some sort of pH level problem or issue, or it's going to be always fluctuating. I'm not sure, but it doesn't matter. Our pH level is that important? I don't think so. What about infections? What if I start, getting pus in my puss? What if I start leaking pus out my puss because I stuffed it with ample amounts of sugary goods? Wrap it up, put it in a little plastic bag. Do not think of ways that you can limit yourself. Think of ways that you can actually free yourself. A lot of times, a little Ziploc bag will go a long way. Little snacks in the Ziploc bag, it's just wonderful. Stuff it in there. Whenever you're hungry, reach in there, grab it. Next time somebody passes out on an airplane because they forgot to eat, or maybe they ate too much, whatever, they might be nervous. It's their first time flying, they passed out. Oh my God, this person's probably, running on low sugar levels. Does anybody have a snack? And guess what? The waitresses and the stewardesses are all there just, playing grab ass or whatever. It takes a long time for them to actually get a snack up to the passed out passenger. But you can be the hero that man or woman needs. Reach inside your vagina, search in there, whatever you got. A Snickers bar, grab that bar, unwrap it, stuff it in the man's face, chew it, help him chew. He's passed out, chew, move his jaw, chew, and then spit on it too, and make sure it goes down his throat. A couple of minutes later, revived. You just saved a life. Hero once again. So please, I don't want to hear excuses as to, I'm not sure about putting snacks up my vagina. Half the population of females are already doing it. I don't see a reason why you shouldn't be doing the same. It's good to be a little bit selfless. It's good to give back a little bit. I'm just saying, if you've got it, use it. Do not hold back. And do not be intimidated by the few naysayers who are saying no snacks and pussies, no snacks and vaginas. They just don't want you to see, they don't want to see you getting ahead in life. I want to see you succeed. Sometimes I wonder what it's like to be a grape being squished or about to be squished by a beautiful French man. I'm just a grape. I'm just a regular old grape doing my grape activities. I'm just good to be spherical. It's good to be surrounded by other spherical members. Just laying around, smoking a cig, drinking a little bit of who knows what, sitting in a tub maybe, talking, chit-chatting with other grapes. All of a sudden, oh my God, there's a Frenchman with giant sticky feet stepping on me. Oh my God, beef squid. Oh, the pus, the juice. Why does this guy keep doing this? Life as a grape. Ladies and gents, boys and girls, it's Wednesday. What else is going on in and around the world? A lot of stuff has been going around the world. It's, I'll say this, I believe in New Zealand, researchers and scientists have actually recently spotted a mysterious little figure in the water. They saw a shark and happened to notice that something was on top of the shark's head. They looked around, they asked questions. What is it? What is this thing that's on the shark's head? Is it a plastic bag? Is it a bunch of condoms that happens to be stuck to this shark's head? Is it loose tampons and menstrual pads? What is it? They couldn't figure it out until they spent a little bit of time closely examining the shark. At a closer look, they discovered that actually, in fact, an octopus had attached itself to the head of the shark and has been traveling with the shark for some time, enjoying a free ride, which is now enabled us to dub this new formed species the sharktopus. That's right, the sharktopus, which is something I can really get behind because I like the combination of shark and octopus coming together and creating one scarier animal, sharktopus. Oh, the marriage of the shark and the octopus, it's beautiful. Imagine sharks but with an octopus attached to it. And I said, you know what, this is beautiful because a shark has always got that, it's got that reputation. If you see a shark, say a shark. If you see a shark, get away from a shark. Don't talk to a shark. Do you know any sharks? Why do you know any sharks? People will judge you for that if they ask you and you're like, yeah, low-key, I kind of like, I got a couple of shark friends, and everybody's like, ugh, this guy and his shark friends. So people judge, people discriminate. Why? Why is that? Well, we look at nature and it appears that the shark and the octopus can coexist peacefully, allowing one another to enjoy each other's company. The octopus jumped on the head of the shark and gets a free ride, traveling to speeds of 50 kilometers an hour underwater. And I said to myself, well, if an octopus can attach itself to a shark, what's stopping us? What's stopping the human species, the top dog of all the species on this planet, as far as we're concerned, at least for time being, for time being apparently still top dog, allegedly. Who knows what else is out there, but allegedly still top dog situation. So I'm saying, if an octopus, a stupid octopus with flailing arms can go ahead and attach itself to a shark's head, what's stopping us? What's stopping numero uno in attaching itself to a shark? So this summer, ladies and gentlemen, I know spring is right here. We just sprung a few days ago. All right, summer's around the corner. This season, I don't want to see anybody getting in trouble for going and swimming with the sharks or getting attacked by a shark. I want you to get as close as possible to a shark. If you find one, grab on, hold on. Apparently, they will take you for rides. Do not be intimidated by the many videos and horror stories you've heard that sharks are dangerous. Sharks will eat you up. Sharks will, slice and dice you. Oh, if you just get in the water and they smell a little bit of blood, no females in the blood because of sharks. Why? Why must we go on this way? Aren't we the top dogs? Attach yourself to a shark this summer. Travel underneath the water. Go to speeds of about 50 kilometers. That's like flying, but in water essentially, which is pretty fucking dope. I'm not gonna lie to you. Attach yourself to a shark or a group of sharks. Start with one. Down the line, you might be able to just kind of balance your feet on two sharks and then ride them just for however long you like. But attach yourself to a shark. I say if an octopus can do it, we can do it too. Because guess what? Octopuses can't drive. Octopuses can't walk on land. Octopuses can't operate heavy machinery. Octopuses can't get married and have crazy, messy divorces. Octopuses don't pay rent. Octopuses don't pay, child support. But guess what? They're getting a free ride from sharks. And we're saying to ourselves, oh, let us be mindful of these sharks. Let us be careful because a couple of people lost limbs or lives. Do not limit yourself by other people's shortcomings. This summer, I want you to attach yourself on top of a shark and cruise on the water as fast as you can. And to be honest with you, if you do happen to lose a limb, at least you'll be able to look back and say, hey, I rode a shark. What else is going on in and around the world? This one's a little bit, this one's bittersweet. It kind of just hits right here. George Foreman, former heavyweight champion, boxing champion, legend, has passed away at the age of 76. George Foreman, dubbed George Foreman for having the strength of 4 men. Really strong fella. He died at the age of 76. It seems to be from natural causes, but I'd like to just take a second and say, is it though? Is it though? Once, when he was young and able, a heavyweight boxing champion, down the line, he may have got caught up in the limelight, got caught up in the fast lane. The cash, the women, the lifestyle that comes with being a boxing champion. Next thing you know, people whispering in his ear, oh, George, Mr. Foreman, George, you should try grilling. From people who were close to him, they say that they knew George, that George in his heart didn't want to start grilling. George didn't even think grilling was all that. But next thing you know, you got a couple of people in your ear, managers, friends, family members. We should start dealing some grills. We should get in the grill business. We should start grilling, George. They said that you should start grilling, George. George, boy, I think there's a lot of money, a lot of dough on grilling. George was hesitant at first. He didn't know what to do. Former heavyweight champion, boxing champion of the world. He knew that he was strong, had the strength of 4 men, hence George Foreman. He said, maybe I'll think about it later down the line. Of course, we all know how this story goes. He did give into the temptation. He did give into the lucrative offers that were made. So he started grilling, appearing in commercials for grills, the George Foreman grill, that is. Cooking, eating lots of meat, eating a lot of meat, eating more meat than anybody could imagine, grilling nonstop. He'd wake up in the morning, he'd be grilling. Lunchtime, he was already grilling. In the afternoon, grilling. Evening showed up, still grilling. Midnight, everybody's gone to sleep, George grilling. Morning comes around once again, George is up grilling. It's brunch, breakfast, lunch. What time is it? It's grilling time, George would say. They couldn't get him to stop grilling. And it's just one of those things that it's bittersweet because he had a great career, great man. And it just goes to show you that if you are an athlete, a scientist, you're in the arts or whatever, do not get tempted. There will be plenty of temptations to go down a path. And once you start doing one thing, you might soon catch yourself not doing other things that you were doing before. For George, it happened to be boxing. A lot of people say at one point or another, you're going to have to hang up the gloves. What do they know? Look at him now. 76 and dead. Because of grilling. A vicious circle of just downward spiraling and grilling all day, every day. What if he did stick with the boxing? Sure, maybe he wasn't going to be champion again at a certain point, at a certain age. That's not unexpected. But to see people getting a kick out of George grilling, enjoying the fruits of his labor, he did a lot more than that too. But grilling is it's a dangerous lifestyle. It's a filthy habit. It is sure, there's going to be tons of girls, tons of chicks just show, you hear a guy's grilling, you see tits flying. That's what they say. Careful of that lifestyle. They said that to George, and they've said that to plenty others too. Some listened. George, in this case, did not. He grilled. Women, plenty. Money flew in like it's never flown in before. Cash also flown in like never before. Diamonds, jewels, the lifestyle of the rich and famous. late nights, grilling. Oh, George, maybe you should take a break, stop grilling a little bit. Oh, I love grilling. I love grilling. Look at me grill now, mama. Look at me grill now. Ain't nobody ever thought I'd be grilling like this, but look at me now. I'm a grill master. And it's tragic. It's tragic that it had to go down this way. So please do take a little bit of time, do your research before you get involved in grilling. Look what it did to a boxing champion. The fortitude, the mental fortitude that a boxing champion has. An athlete, an elite athlete. Look what grilling did to an elite athlete. And you think you have a chance. You think young folks have a chance out there. If you think you can just go out there and grill all willy-nilly, you think I'm just gonna get up on a Monday and grill and grill and grill, and guess what? Tuesday's gonna roll around, no big deal. I can grill and I can stop anytime I want. Next thing you know, it's Wednesday, 3 days in a row you've been grilling. I'm just liking a hobby that I've picked up. Don't mind me. Come outside and play, your gang will say. I'm busy grilling. You haven't spent time with the children in 7 weeks. Now come back home to us, Jerry. Come back home. I'm busy grilling. I'm busy grilling. Get off my back, Lisa. You slam the door and go out into the backyard grilling once again. It's 3:33 in the morning. Everybody's asleep. Why won't you come inside? Get some rest. Look at the bags under your eyes. I love grilling. Love the smoke. Love the charcoal. Love the fumes. Love the meat. Just devouring meat at an unprecedented rate. And it's scary. Your family loves you. Your friends care for you. Your community still needs you. If you're out there thinking that you're going to just dabble in grilling, oh, I know my limits. I know when to say it's all right, I have had enough. I know when I say it's done for me, I'm good for now. We've heard it before. We've heard it before. We've seen how many more people do we need to lose to grilling? How many more young lives need to be destroyed by grilling, goddammit? How many families need to be torn apart? How many missed birthdays? How many missed anniversaries? My God! George Foreman, rest in peace. Let your life not be, gone in vain. You did a lot of good. And for your boxing and all your other extracurricular activities, you'll be remembered. But grilling is something that we all need to tackle this summer and this spring. But be careful out there, because we saw what happened. God damn it, we saw what happened. What else is going on, ladies and gentlemen, in and around the world? I believe 23andMe, that's right, 23andMe, the company that took your DNA and told you people that you were related to somewhat, I think, they're going bankrupt. That's right, the same company that had a couple of leaks that ended up, having your DNA kind of spilled all over the place to other companies. Who knows? Who knows? The leaks, long gone. The company is now filing for bankruptcy, and you are wondering what happens to my DNA. I'm not saying that, not my DNA, because I didn't send my DNA to 23andMe. My DNA is in the toilet bowl. My DNA is in my hairbrush. My DNA is in the garbage bin. I don't put my DNA just anywhere. Outside, like I put it places. Pretty sure there's plenty of DNA on the bed sheet. I'm pretty sure there's. If you use black light and look around, I'm quite sure you'll find DNA all around the room. I'm sure if you were to look inside my underwear by the end of any day, really, you'll find a little bit of DNA. But the point is, ladies and gentlemen, that's my DNA. Where's your DNA? Because a company that's going bankrupt right now has taken your DNA and you signed away papers and documents saying, do what you will with my DNA. Do a little bit of research on my DNA. Tell me who I'm related to. Tell me what kind of diseases I might have or I might not have. I don't even know if they did that. It doesn't matter. Your DNA is now, you're wondering, what's going to happen to my DNA? Guess what? You're going to live your life. Go out there and live your life. Perhaps it's better not to know, but I think it's good to know as well. Your DNA, nothing's happened to your DNA. Unless a notorious gang of scientists and thugs get a hold of your DNA in some sort of black site operation in who knows, maybe a company that's not even here. maybe a company that's in China, maybe a company that's in Vietnam or Russia or the Middle East or Africa. Who knows where this black site is? You're living your life. Your life's going well. It's fine. You're doing your thing. You're attending to your needs. You're chasing whatever dreams and aspirations you were chasing out there, feeding yourself and your family, providing for yourself and your family and your friends and your loved ones and your circle, your community, giving back. Your life's just another day in your life, just another symbol. Meanwhile, in a basement, they are growing replicas, clones of you using your DNA, maybe, perhaps. And guess what? There's a little gelatinous sack of sap and mucus filled, whatever it is, I don't know. There's a sack filled with some sort of, gelatinous liquid. And guess what? There's a grown male or female in there. No, they don't have hair. They're not out yet. It's just like it's an external womb, essentially. They're growing babies inside labs and they're using your DNA. Next thing you know, you come out, like not you, but a version of you. So basically you come out. Where am I? Why am I covered in goo? What is this? Gasping for air as you come out of the artificial womb. Where am I? It's dimly lit. It's poorly lit, actually. People are smoking inside. It's a black site. There's no ventilation. There's no ventilation. There are no answers. Who am I? What is this? How did I end up here? A full-blown, grown-sized baby man, a man baby. A full-grown man baby that looks exactly like you. A full-grown man baby, you. No memories, no recollection of how or what has gone on. They just come to life. They're crawling on the ground, slime dripping all over the place. Who am I? What is this? But they can't even say those things because that's like language. I don't know how they develop language, these grown man babies. How would they even say things? So they're probably just making noises, crying, which is actually kind of scary because that'd be terrifying. Because a baby crying, it's tiny, the acoustics are a little bit just frightening. Nonetheless, the size is tolerable, but the pitch is unbearable. But imagine that now, full-grown man baby doing the same. Mama, mama. If they even know how to say mama. Would they? Meanwhile, they're being tested, and everything's being tested on them. Drugs are being tested on them. Can they tolerate pain? Maybe they're being whipped. Maybe they're being shackled. Maybe their nipples are being twisted. Maybe they are being ejaculated and milked 10 times, 27 times a day, 3 to 4 times every hour, milked to see how much a man or woman can come, to see how much a man or a woman can tolerate heat, to see how much a man or a woman can tolerate cold, to see if they're willing to get back and crawl back into the artificial womb. Would they want to do that? Or are they like happier to be outside? What's going on? It's a lot of questions, but I'm sure it's fine. There's basically a version of you walking around with like 7 tits on his back. They just want to, because they want to, you don't know. There's a version of you with like a tiger just, attached to its, back. There's half man, half tiger. It's you though. There's all sorts of animal human experiments. You don't know. There's like a kangaroo attached to the back of you. You're not you, but like, a version of you. It's like your baby, or not even your clone, essentially. It's basically you, just without your memories. It's your DNA though. It's your DNA. So there you go. Rest assured, nothing to worry about. I'm sure they will take care of your DNA in China or wherever it happens to be by now. Whoever bought it, whoever will buy it. Who knows what's gonna happen? Maybe they'll make an army out of you. Maybe they'll tweak your, they'll take your DNA, they'll splice it, they'll take out your defects, whatever diseases you have. They'll give you extra IQ and EQ and strength. They'll tweak it and make an army of invincible, artificial humans, transhumanists, new humanists, new humans who tolerate pain, who can ejaculate like 10x, and who are really good at withstanding heat and cold. Whereas you just, you're like, room temp. You're just room temp. So It's a lot to think about, but rest assured that's probably not happening. I wouldn't worry too much about it. That's probably too far-fetched of an idea. Or is it though? Or is it? If you listen closely and put your ear to the ground, you can hear yourself screaming. But do not panic. Do not panic. We're in this together. What else is going on in and around the world? I believe a United Airlines airline pilot has recently been in the news for maybe allegedly forcefully or, just removing a passenger from the toilet, from the bathroom, from the can. Removing a man from the can. Because apparently, allegedly, this man happened to be in the bathroom and would not come out after a long period of time. I don't exactly know how long he's been in there, but we're just taking a brief look at this situation and saying who's got jurisdiction on the airplane, who has control over the airplane and the bathroom, what's the appropriate time to spend in the bathroom, could people just go in there and like loiter in the bathroom, what's going on in there, how long do you get to take a pee break or drop some shits in there, what's the appropriate time. I'll tell you what, I've flown a few times in my life. I'm not a fan of the old airplane bathroom situation. I've come up with a alternative, but it's yet to be picked up by the industry, to be honest with you. I suppose they are busy concentrating on building 6th generation fighter jets who are stealthy and speedy and whatever, can go a lot faster. I thought maybe that's great, Boeing or whoever else, that's fantastic. I'm a fan too. I like stealth, I like speed. I get what, can we maybe allocate a little bit of time and energy into perhaps turning all the seats in the toilets into toilets and seats into one and on the airplane? Can we turn all the seats on the airplanes to toilets so that you no longer have to get up and say, excuse me, brushing up against people. People have to suck in their, you have to suck it in for a second because whatever, John over here has got his fat belly in your face and he's just rubbing up against you. This is ladies with like loose, saggy tits, just, teasing and whatever. It's a whole thing. But yeah, apparently turning the seats on the airplane to toilets is too big of an ask. What about the smell? What about the smell? If the entire plane smells like shit, does anything smell like shit? I don't think so. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, that is apparently, that's a little bit too futuristic. That's a little bit, flying too close to the sun, but whatever. The point is, how much time do you get in the bathroom? Who has jurisdiction? I say, 5 minutes is adequate time to do your biz. 10 minutes is ample, it's sufficient. Anything beyond that, because there's other people on the airplane, I feel like, I would, if you're going above 20, 30 minutes, if you're going above 30 minutes, I think it's safe to say that there's going to be questions and concerns raised. I love pilots. I would like to say that, for the sake of safety, for the safety of the other passengers, I think the pilot has, he's top rank on the plane, on the vessel, he's got top, rank. So if he wants to drag somebody out of I think pilots should drag people out of the toilet quicker. Because few times that I've flown, I have noticed people just going in there and, taking a little bit longer than necessary or what I think is necessary. And you're like, what if people get diarrhea? What if people get constipated? What if people are throwing up? Whatever. There are other people as well, because if you think about it, yes, you could be facing diarrhea and getting constipated, but there's other people that could be getting diarrhea and constipation as well. And I say do as much as you can within the time frame that you're given, but after that, if you don't come out, then there's just gonna be diarrhea all over the place. And people, what if somebody's giving birth in the bathroom of the airplane? That too could easily happen. And to that, we say that that's just another case of a selfish baby occupying space, knowing full well that there's like, 100, 200 other people on this plane. It's a shared facility. Yeah, so in terms of who's in the right, who's in the wrong, I don't exactly know how long the man took to, do his business. He did get dragged out. Apparently, like, I don't know this. It sounds really cool though, to be honest with you. It sounded cool because I just heard like, a pilot, cracked open a door and yanked a man out of a bathroom. And the man may have flashed people with his penis. Not willingly, of course, unwillingly flashed the people, which is not ideal, but also it's not too many times you get to flash people with your penis. So, all in all, for safety reasons, I know it may not seem like the right idea to drag somebody out of a toilet. Because of all the things that have been happening on airplanes as of late, I say the pilot has jurisdiction. This is just a personal opinion, of course. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. This is just how I feel. I feel like the pilot has the jurisdiction and legal right to pull anybody out of the bathroom, anybody out of their seat. The pilot has probably, if the pilot wants to switch around the seating arrangements, I say he has jurisdiction there too. I say if the pilot says, lock the bathroom, we're all shitting our pants, pilot has the ability to do that as well. And to be honest with you, a lot of times you go into a bathroom willingly and you have to walk with your own, with your own accord essentially. But getting out of the bathroom, it'd be nice for somebody to kind of like drag. There have been oftentimes I've actually gone to the bathroom. Going to the bathroom is easy. Getting out, you don't know what people are doing in there. You know what people are doing. You spend time on your phone. You're looking at your testicles and you're looking at your vag. You're filming your vag. I'm in an airplane bathroom. Let me film my vag. People will say that. Oftentimes getting out could be a little bit difficult. Sometimes you need that extra hand. Sometimes you need to get dragged out. It's nice to know that there are people who care for everybody's safety, of course. Having said that, yes, I'm gonna say that I'd like to be honest with you, a lot of times I've been in situations where oh man, it's nice to know that somebody cares. It's nice to get dragged out. It's not often do you get dragged out in life, and because of so many times that you've not been dragged out, I say the one time that you do get dragged out, and it's probably because of like concerns for everybody's safety. I say on this one, just a brief understanding of the situation. I say the pilot was in the right. Drag anybody out of the bathroom that's in there for more than 15 minutes. More than 15 minutes, come back later. Let other people, because that's the pilot too. What if the pilot has the shits? What if the pilot has the shits? What if the pilot is pregnant? What if the pilot has the shits and is pregnant and is fighting AIDS? What if it's a pilot with AIDS and a baby and the shits? So, think of others. Sharing is caring. I'm sure people will figure it out. Ladies and gents, what else is going on in and around the world? I believe a murder for hire case just came up on my radar, caught my attention. Ghost Adventures star Aaron Goodwin, Ghost Adventures star. It's a show about ghosts and adventures, I believe. I've not seen the show, but I'm sure it's a great show, and it's called Ghost Adventures. I believe it's about paranormal activities. That's what I believe. That's what my gut tells me, and that's what I'm going with. So Aaron Goodwin happens to be one of the stars of this show, Ghost Adventures. His wife, Victoria Goodwin, apparently has been arrested and is appearing in court because she went out there and tried to get a murder for hire. That's right, she was planning on hiring a hitman to take out her husband, Aaron Goodwin. He recently came out and thanked people, apparently, and supporters and fans and whatnot. I'm glad to see that he's not hurt or anything like that, but that shit exists. It's crazy. I mean, you hear about it, like you hear murmurs and rumors, but oftentimes it doesn't happen. Until it happens, somebody actually out there goes and hires somebody or tries to hire somebody to take their spouse, their loved one out of this existence, out of this world, which is, murder for hire. I believe she was contacting a fella in prison she was having some sort of a relationship with a prisoner at one point. I'm not quite sure the extent of the story. And then these two, Victoria and the prisoner or whatever, the inmate, were planning on hiring a hitman, which actually is kind of full circle. Midget assassins, ninjas. I mean, not condoning anything, but I'm just saying maybe you would have, you know who gets caught? Average size ninjas, assassins. Average size, and you know who doesn't get caught as much? Fucking midgets. All day, every day. Just doing all sorts of shit. Getting away with it because you miss them all the time. Some people say secretly midgets run the world. Some people say that, and it's, oh, sure, midgets run the world. Of course, midgets run the world. Think about it though. They're everywhere but nowhere. They're seen but not seen. They're heard but not heard. They're there, but are they really? Years, generation after generation, being at the same height of genitals, looking at other people's genitals every day, day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out. All you see is genitals. You say one day to yourself, you say, I've had enough of this shit. I'm gonna try to secretly rule the world. And they get together in secret meetings. And again, just seems like, just another midget convention for midgets to get together and bond and find people, friends and acquaintances and people they can fuck or rule the world. Think about it. No one ever said that. No one ever, and perhaps that's the best disguise. Fucking think about it. What were we talking about? Murder for hire. That's right. So what do we think about murder for hire? I mean, it is. Breakups are hard. Breakups are difficult. I'll say that. Having in my life experienced breakups, sometimes being on the breaking up end, sometimes being broken up with. Both circumstances suck. Absolutely, they suck. So, despite the fact that I don't agree with murder for hire, breaking up sucks. Getting a divorce probably does suck too. Getting into a relationship with a prisoner though, and then going out and this is where it went wrong. I think this is where it went wrong. Because your husband is like on, TV, he's got a show, he's part of a show, he's a star, he's, doing good, he's doing good things, a good man, hardworking man, he's a reputable man, he's a good man. I don't know the man, he's a good guy, he seems like a good guy. And then you go and get in a relationship with a prisoner. I don't know how that happens, but apparently people do that too. So there you go. I don't know. The takeaway from all of this is to, I believe they try to, pay around 11,000 G's, 11 grand, 11K, which is quite cheap when you think about it. That's quite cheap. I thought it'd be more expensive. That's one of the big surprises for me, to be honest with you. Around 10K, 11K for, perhaps that's the reason why they got caught. Perhaps it does cost more. I think it should probably cost more. To have a hit on somebody, it should probably cost more than that. 11K, it's still, it's not nothing, but it's pretty cheap. That's pretty cheap. It's probably, you know what? I bet it's some sort of like outsourced murder for hire. It's probably not local. It's probably like, you don't even know this murder for hire. That's why we need like products made here in Canada and the US, just local made stuff. That's probably outsourced. It's probably cheap labor. Probably one of these. And I'll tell you about cheap labor, man. I just heard this one. This one coincides. I guess this is with cheap labor. It coincides with this story. A first migrant worker in Saudi Arabia, working on the 2034 stadiums for the World Cups. He's one of the first people that has died. His name was Mohammed something. He's dead. He's in his 30s. And yeah, some people might say that, cheap labor, maybe / like slave labor, maybe / like, hazardous work conditions. Sometimes they get in there in precarious conditions to begin with. Sometimes they go into Saudi Arabia and places like that, and they actually get in debt, having to pay money to get inside to be able to attain work, get in there and become kind of indebted and just indebted servitude, and just it's terrible. That sucks. that aspect of it. So, but then the other part of it is, it also sucks for the employer, because now you're dead. And that's like, oh, you get cheap labor. That's what you get with cheap labor. They die. And they make a whole thing out of it too. They make a whole thing out of it. They die, unreliable, and it's like, God, could you just pull it together, man? Could you just, because it's hard finding cheap labor, in places where it's like regulated and like people need to be fed and like housed and paid handsomely for their tasks. I mean, these two stories are completely separate, but I suppose I'm not quite sure where they were getting this hitman, but the common thread here is cheap labor. You want something done properly. You want less people complaining about work conditions. Pay them properly so that they don't die on the job, and start making a whole thing about it. And the next thing you know, you're just trying to sport wash your nation and get people to come over and do business and be like, we love humans and human rights, and you're trying to do it. And there's this guy getting paid not well and like dying and shit. And guess what? It ruins your whole thing. It doesn't ruin the entire thing, of course. And they don't like people talking about this shit. They're like, you know what? Muhammad did die. He was in his 30s, young man, wife, kids, family to feed. Do not take any pictures. Do not tell anybody about this. And this type of stuff does not happen as often as you think it does. Like, it does happen. It does happen. But that's what happens with cheap labor, man. That's what happens with cheap labor. And this here, right here, murder for hire. I don't condone it, but common thread. Cheap labor, man. You go out there and get yourself mixed up with some sort of inmate who knows a guy. And next thing you know, murder for hire for 10K. I bet this is 10K, 10, 11K. That's, because it was 100K, you probably wouldn't even do it. It's a lot of money. For most people, that's probably a lot of money. That should be a deterrence right there. But 10K, you're like, well, that's kind of a bargain. That's kind of a few pairs of fancy shoes for some folks. So, it's like a purse for somebody. So should be, bring it home is what I'm trying to say. Fucking, pay people properly. That's the common thread. Murder for hire, I don't condone it. Cheap laborers, I don't condone that either, because they complain and they make a whole scene. And it's tragic all around for everybody, I'm sure, equally. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, that we're learning as we go along. So let's take a sip of this bad boy, because oh yeah, let's go. Feels so good, yeah, right there. What else is going on? This one broke the internet a couple of days ago. Everybody's talking about this. I don't know much about it. Everybody's losing their shit around this. I think some people are, some people aren't. I don't know what to make of it. We'll make of it what we will together. Signal group chat, which was leaked, which was, it was a group chat. This chat was going on amongst, top administrative, people, top admin people in the new administration, and in the U.S., people like J.D. Vance were in a text. People like Pete Hegseth, people like Mark Waltz. People were discussing a chat. Top admin people from the administration. People were chit chatting on the text, and it was on a Signal platform, that chatting platform. And apparently somebody added a journalist to the group chat. And apparently some plans or whatever, some ideas were discussed on this chat and made a whole thing. I don't know what's, some people say there's been a major leak of war plans that was supposed to be for, private members only. It was a private members only chat, but then it got, but then the journalist, I believe from The Atlantic, Mr. Goldberg, I don't know this man, I forget his name, something Goldberg, got invited to the chat as well. And he saw some of the, people were talking like, just admin shit, fucking like, what are we doing with, what are we doing with the Yemen Houthis? Who this, who that, who this, who that, we're discussing maybe, attacks against the Houthi rebels, perhaps, weapons, timing, location. All the texts were not revealed to the public for, I guess, security reasons, which makes sense. Some of the text that got put out there was, there was a little bit of a mention of Europe kind of looking like, whatevs, not looking, kind of being reliant on the US and being, you know, I believe the word pathetic was used. It doesn't matter. The point is it got leaked, and this is, you know, some people are saying it's nothing, some people are saying it's, you know, it's sensitive information, some people are, it's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag. I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's I mean, but then, like, you know, it's, what's wrong with the situation? They say sensitive information was revealed or whatever, leaked. First of all, I'll say this. I don't know how I feel about the term leaked. When you say something's leaked, when I hear something's leaked, my mind initially goes to, because where else do I hear that term when something, you know, something's been leaked? When an album's about to drop and they leak a little bit of the album or leak a couple of the songs, a snippet of the song, you're like, oh man, and you know, the artist is like, oh man, this leaked. And then you, or like a movie is about to come out and they're like, oh, the trailer of the movie, or like a scene from the movie where they're working on it got leaked. Oh no, leaked. Oh no, leaked, but like low key, yes, it leaked, dude. It leaked, but yeah, leaked. Because the leakage in the entertainment industry is sometimes, from what I understand, is done on purpose to get a little bit of like buzz going around the new movie or the music that's about to be fired. It's gonna be dropped. You hear, oh, it's been leaked. Somebody leaked this shit. How did they leak it though? Who leaked it? It doesn't matter. But that's the music industry. That's movies. That's entertainment. You can, then you get something to look forward to. So I don't know. You know, I hear leak, but I'm like, why would? So that doesn't make sense to me. Why would somebody like leak it on purpose? I wouldn't think that. I mean, unless you're trying to like get people hyped about things that are going really well, which things, by the way, are going really well for them. I mean, like, because it displays plans that are about to be, you know, you put plans forward. You're like, oh, there's the plans. We're gonna like hit them up here in this location, and next thing you know, you go through with it. And it looks really good, and everybody's like high-fiving and pounding each other and fisting and like, you know, thumbs up and like, you know, flexing and like, oh yeah, we're doing it, we're kicking ass. It's nice. So it is kind of like, I didn't see anything wrong with it, to be honest with you. It just made me feel good, to be honest, because it was like, yeah, we're gonna get these Hutu rebels, and then we did get the Hutu rebels, and you know, sure, was there a little bit of a discussion about like Europe being a little bit like, you know, just codependent, maybe a little bit like, you know, just get your, you know, it is what it is. It's like, I don't know what to think of it. It's not a big deal. Lessons learned. I've heard people did make a fuss a little while ago about also information potentially being leaked by the likes of Hillary Clinton. Nothing really happened to her. So I don't know the deets, to be honest with you. I don't know. Information, if it's sensitive, don't leak it. You know, intentionally, that is. Unintentionally, shit happens. Because like sensitive information is not like, sensitive information is like, you know, it's fragile information. It's not like, you know, it's not a strong piece of information. It's sensitive. It's got feelings. It's got emotions. You can't just look at it. Some information is fucking rugged. Some information can handle it. Other information are, you know, like they're like a bunch of pansies. So it's soft and it's sensitive and it can't tolerate being put out there. Whereas other information is like strong, independent, trustworthy, dependable, shows up each and every day. So that's, you know, so sensitive information, you want to be leaking that. On the other hand, I kind of wish like we all got information leaked, because it would have been nice for everybody to get the leak. Like if we all got the info, like what if we all got a text? What if we all got a text telling us to tune in at like, you know, a certain time? You know, tune in at 11:55. We're gonna be hitting the Houthis. We're gonna be hitting the Houthis. And you're like, oh, and they don't know about it, and text comes back, no, they don't know about it. It's just us. We're in on it. We know. We all just tune in on your local news station and watch the news at 11 and watch these Houthis get blown up into pieces. And you know, it would have been nice for us, all of us, to like get that heads up, so like we're all in on it, so that we all. But that's sensitive information, man. You can't. I guess I don't know. It's it was leaked on a Signal chat platform. Don't people were, I'm trying to learn, I don't know. Apparently there are devices that you're supposed to be using for communicating within, the admin. But then I've also heard that you can't always be getting access to those equipment. You're on the go, you're doing things, shit must be done instantly, actions need to be taken, decisive moves need to be made on a whim, really quickly, big actions with big consequences. Sometimes you don't have access to one of those like fancy, phones with whatever, with like a, a closed circuit phone, or I don't know what they're called, high security phone or laptop. So all in all, from the information that I read, it wasn't too big of a deal. I guess it does kind of like, just down the line, let's all be more mindful of the information we put on our phones in general, especially if you're in, the admin and whatnot. Overall, it was a good leak in terms of like we said we're gonna go do stuff and we did it. On the other hand, it does raise some, security questions, because they're like, what if somehow, first of all, one thing how did the journalists get added to the chat? That's one of my concerns. How did the journalists get added to the chat? Because have I said some stuff to certain people by mistake when I was texting somebody? Did I think I was texting somebody and then texted somebody else instead? Yeah, for sure. One time I told one of my bosses back in the day when I used to, be in the workforce, like in a workplace situation with a boss and a manager and stuff. I told one of my bosses that I love them. I told my boss that I love them. And that message was supposed to be for the woman that I was seeing at the time. And I forget whether or not my boss acknowledged it, or did he tell me that he loves me back, or did he? I forget, to be honest with you. But yeah, that's one time that I could recall where I accidentally texted somebody else and told them that I love them. Which, I do love everybody, generally speaking. So despite the fact that it was for my girl at the time, my boss got the message. So there you go. Who has any, can we all for a second take a moment and realize that we've all texted the wrong people the wrong thing at least one time? So it does happen. Yeah, but it just but see, that person, my boss and my girl's number at the time were both in my phone. Was the journalist's number in your phone? If not, then that's a little bit of a question that needs to be kind of but again, it's all, we're new, new term, new admin, new attitude, giving everybody just, benefit of the doubt and all that jazz, and, in good faith moving forward. Let's all learn that Signal is probably not the best app, or WhatsApp, or just regular phones probably should not be used to, again, I don't know these things, or maybe they should be used more often. Maybe we should just fucking text everything. And I wish to see a little bit like a stronger, just a little bit of a stronger language in there as well. Like, motherfucker, we're gonna get these Houthi motherfuckers today. No, we're gonna blow them into pieces. JD Vance would say something like that. I'm not sure if he even did say that, or Hexworth, and maybe Hexeth would say, oh, we're gonna blow these motherfucker Houthi rebels up today at 11:50. We're gonna check this out, JD. And JD's going, yeah, motherfucker, we're gonna blow these motherfuckers up today. These Houthi motherfuckers out there, we're gonna blow out the water. Just checking at 11:55. We're gonna blow these motherfuckers out the water. These Houthi rebels, I'm gonna see what's coming. Oh, you gonna be running around your sandals and your dashiki, and your dashiki shack's gonna be blown up. Ain't no more dashikis and sandals gonna be sold by you, you Houthi rebel motherfucker. And JD Vance would come in and, he'd say something along those lines. I would like to see more of a real, oh, blow these motherfuckers up. Tired of these dashiki wearing sandal flip-flopping motherfuckers with the sand everywhere. I gotta listen to more of people's speech. I'm actually not quite sure if they speak like that, but I think they do. I've seen them a few times. Yeah, I like JD Vance. I like people. I think some of them talk like this. I prefer them to talk like this, to be honest with you. Oh, we gonna blow up these motherfuckers in the Middle East and in parts of Africa, motherfucker, dashiki wearing motherfucker. That'd be nice. At the same rate, there are questions about security. What if the Houthi rebels did get a hold of the texts? Or we're just thinking about just talking amongst themselves. Hussein, Is there any way we could protect ourselves against potential infidels attacking us? Any thoughts, Hussein? I don't know, they're extremely discreet and very good with keeping secrets. Maybe one day they get sloppy, maybe one day they happen to use Signal for their chats and we can break the encryption using something like Paragon, and we get into their chats and we find out that they're discussing an attack on us. Hussein, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Of course, they're never gonna use Signal, a chat, for a top secret meeting. I don't know, but then, it's nice. Oh, we killed these motherfucking Houthi. Well, who they think they are? These dashiki wearing sandal flip-flopping motherfuckers with the hookahs and the terrorisms and the AKs. You motherfucker, we're gonna blow you up to pieces. You're gonna be covered as many red dots as an Indian wedding, motherfucker. And something along those lines. I would like to see more of that. So that'd be nice. That'd be nice. Maybe we will. Who knows? The point is, I don't think it's as big of a deal because I saw a lot of news like just be like, oh, this breach of security, breaching. And that's when you see security being breached, when you see a woman just get on her back and open her legs up and out the vag comes security, and it's not fully coming out, it's breached. It's just like security stuck in vag. Nobody wants to see that. So, no breach of security this time. Moving forward, let's all be careful. And all that is to say is say that Signal right there for you. Signal chit-chatting. Maybe something to think about. But those are just my thoughts. I don't know. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Area's doing a good job. Keep kicking butt. The Europe, whatever. People talk. People in admins talk all the time. I'm sure the Europeans talk about the North Americans. The North Americans talk about the Asians. Asians talk about the North. Everybody's talking about everybody. So it's all good. It's big boys and big gals having big boy motherfuckers are gonna be blown up into pieces. They ain't even gonna see what's gonna be a good one. I'd like to see that. I would love to see. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, that it's important that we all move forward together. There shouldn't be so much jumping on sides. Let's work together to make the unit move forward as a whole, where we should not be divided by left and right and colors. We should be concentrating on stuff that matters. Like, for example, I'll give you an example of what matters. Great example. Thank you for asking, by the way. Glad you asked. Apparently, there is an uptrend in men, especially young men, feeling inadequate with their facial hairs. So they're going out there and getting facial hair transplants. That's on the rise, apparently. All right. And I'm just here to remind you that you need to focus on the important things, fellers. Is facial hair important in your journey of getting, the puss and the success and the monies? Women don't care about what's on the outside. Women don't care about your face, whether you're patchy on your facial hair or if you got a full beard. It doesn't. Women don't care about the outside. Okay, women care about what's inside. Women don't care about what's on the outside. Women care what's on the inside, all right? So what's on the inside of your wallet, that is. So women don't care whether you got a patchy beard or not. Do not go out there and get patchy beard implants on your already patchy beard, because you think if you got a full beard, then it's gonna be, puss city and just, tongue kissing a woman in the vag city. That's just, it's just gonna be a merry-go-round of kissing ladies on the vag because I got a full beard. Trust me, I got a full beard and it's not made that, I've not seen, I shaved mine. I'll grow it out if I want to. It's not made a huge difference in the puss business. I'll tell you that right now. Maybe I'm doing beards wrong. Maybe there's a way that you do beards and it's like 10xing your puss game. But for the most part, people are getting, surgeries and shit, and oftentimes somebody ended up committing suicide because their surgery is, these surgeries are not yet, these are just, where people are experimenting with all sorts of things. It takes a long time for things to get good. Remember the boob jobs in the early days? Remember how terrible they were, some of them? It took us a long time to get to, you know, good, decent boob jobs. And even I'm not even a fan. And, you know, if you want them, get them. But I'm just saying things in the beginning, early stages. You don't want to be the first people going out there and saying, I got a patchy beard. Maybe I need to have somebody stick me with needles and hair follicles in the face. The way your hair grows, it's going to be fucked up. It's going to, you know, you're going to find, you know, and people are always trying to, you know, save a buck. You're like, what if I go to, you know, Turkey and get a face, you know, treatment and get bearded out in Turkey or somewhere else that's cheaper. Next thing you know, they're implanting the hairs and it's fucking growing in a different direction than it's supposed to be. Next, there's a fella that fucking had that issue, got bad implants in his face, ended up committing suicide because it was just terrible. He was, you know, it led to a lot of mental health issues, and it could be terrible. You can't go to sleep, it's itchy, it's growing out weird. Now you wish you just, you know, didn't have enough, you know, maybe now you wish you had that patchy beard instead, and it's a whole mess. So the point that I'm trying to make is let us all concentrate on the important things, which is money. Not, you know, external things like a full beard or, you know, whatever you think is going to be impressive to ladies. They don't care. Men don't care either. Money will, you know, money was made so that I don't, you know, probably just to, you know, kind of even out the balancing, you know, it's kind of an equalizer, I suppose, in a sense, it kind of is. So yeah, don't worry about the beard. If you're young out there, like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna, women don't care about that. Women don't care about that. Men don't care about that. Your beard will not, you know, amount of hair you have on your face, on your body, the amount of muscles, all that is, whatever, the car, none of it matters. Ample amounts of money in your wallet, that's the only thing that'll make a difference in your life. Think about it, or fucking get the transplant, get the facial transplant, get the beard. What do I care? Get the full beard, get a full, go to Greece or wherever they do. I don't know, whoever does, you do it. Hair transplants are different. We've gotten way better at those days, but like the facial stuff, I'm hearing about this. This is new. Hair transplants different. People are doing that. They've been doing that for some. We've done. Again, it takes time. Don't be one of the first guys jumping on the beard, because beards come and go. It's trendy one season, next thing you know, everybody's shaving, you know, it takes, you know, 5 years, then it's back again, on again, on again. Don't worry about it. Don't worry, your patchy beard is not a thing. Look at how many people have had patchy beards throughout the ages and have been successful in life. Fucking, you know, you like Matrix, right? You like the Matrix, right? Keanu Reeves, patchy beard, right there. A lot of men in Hollywood, patchy beards. A lot of men in Hollywood can only grow the trans facial hair, which is just the mustache and a little bit of a lot of people. So a lot of patchy bearded people, successful, money, bitches, right? So I'm just saying, there's a lot to be said about patchy beards. It's actually a good thing. You want a patchy beard. You want to look like you're just trying to grow a beard, but all you can, you know, squeeze out is just the trans mustache and a little bit of goatee situation. You want that. It's good. It's good. You know, I'm not seeing too many Al-Qaeda members fucking, you know, cleaning up the puss game, because they've got a lot of beard and I don't think they're slanging dick that much. So there you go. There you go. You're welcome. Or maybe low-key they are. So fucking get the transplant. Ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, I'd just like to raise this little, if we can together, your judgeness, your beautiful judges out there, if you're listening, and subscribe, by the way, if you're a judge and watching this. I would like to take this moment in time and say #free Cain Velasquez, if we can together. There was a 2022 shooting that went on because of a chomo that allegedly molested his son. He went out there and he took care of it, or at least he attempted to, and he tried. He accidentally shot somebody else instead, I believe. Well, we can all agree, I think, of course, you know, going out there and taking the law into your own hands, not the right idea. You know, we don't want to be promoting that. Of course, I get that, all that. But that is to say that, you know, you hear a lot of parents saying, you know, parents are different. Parent-child relationships are different. They'll say that. Parents will say, well, you know, you'll do anything for your children. And it's true, we've seen it. Mothers lifting cars, mothers lifting bears, fathers, fist fighting a gang of hooligans to save their child. We've seen them. Fathers and mothers will say they'll kill for their children. And there you go. So you have a guy who's probably, just like many fathers and mothers, has maybe not even outwardly said that, but he actually went ahead and, somebody hurt his kid. So he went out there and tried to, get a little bit of, whatever. That's all I'm saying is that if he got 5 years, I believe he can probably be of much more, good to society if he's on the outside. Hashtag free Cain Velasquez. He is a, outstanding member of the UFC community, is a former champ. It's a shame to see him behind bars because after all, again, I understand the whole law and the monopoly of, killings and whatnot, and the government has monopoly of violence. That I understand that we got to allocate that monopoly of violence to the government because that's like it's a whole thing. I'm not saying it's a perfect stitch. I'm not saying that this even is the way it should be. I'm just saying all of it. It just seems like one of those things that anybody, you can understand anybody in that position. If your child was molested, you'd probably want to choke or kill or hurt. Not saying we should. You let the law take care of it. But in this case, somebody went ahead and tried to do. His heart was in the right place. He did miss, which that's lessons learned. I'm not saying he should have. The whole thing is it sucks. It's terrible. But yeah, let's, if we can pull together. I don't know. I can't do anything. But yeah, I mean, he could be a lot better. It's if he, a lot better in society doing, because he's a good human being. He's a good, beloved member of the UFC. He's a sportsman. He's a champion, former champion. He's a good human. It'd be a shame to see him behind bars, not the life going to potential few years wasted, whereas he could be doing a lot good outside, I think. But having said that, we should probably, again, once I've said this before, I'll say it again, for horrendous crimes like rape and child molestation, I think there should definitely be like a death penalty. There should definitely be some sort of, or like torture for life. You shouldn't go free from these things, or you shouldn't just have the sentence of, I don't know what the deals are, but you hear somebody doing some horrendous crime and they do 15, 20 years and then they're out there, and that's you destroyed lives, family members, and communities are impacted by these things. Those are just a few thoughts, but outside of that, I'll be back here again on Friday. In the meantime, remember to fucking keep your eye on what is important, and that is, if we've taken anything away from today's episode, it's that get dodgy plastic surgery or just body modification. Get dodgy, sketchy surgery and operations done on yourselves. Make sure you are the first in line, whatever it is. Till Friday. Peace out.